Carroll. Bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues, the official Wycombe Wanderers podcast in partnership with Virgin Media. On the show this week we have all the action and reaction from the game against Leyton Orient at Brisbane Road, plus Chairboys fan Cheryl Kipping joins us for Till Death Us Do Parts. But before all of that, let's head to Mexico City for the full Liga One results with Uri.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri, and here are the results for League One. Bristol Rovers 0, Reading 2, Leyton Orient 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0, Barnsley 1, Shrewsbury Town 2, Burton Albion 2, Cambridge United 1, Crawley Town 3, Northampton Town 0, Exeter City 3, Huddersfield Town 1, Peterborough United 1, Bolton Wanderers 1, Stockport County 3, Lincoln City 1, Wigan Athletic 1, Blackpool 1, Wrexham 3, Charlton Athletic 0, Stevenage 1, Rotherham 1, Birmingham City 4, Mansfield Town 0. So the Chairboys have won 84 points with a game left to play in the regular season. So Chairboys Spanish this week, we have a silver lining, a record point total in League One. So record, we say the same word in Spanish, record, points, puntos, total, League One. So, a record points total en League One, un récord total de puntos en la Liga 1. Come on, Chairboys, and we still have the playoffs to contend. Back to England with mi amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. Until next week.
Muchas gracias, Uri. Right then, it was a big game in East London on Saturday for the early kickoff. The O's looking to maintain their position in 6th for the playoffs, and the Chairboys looking to keep pressure on Wrexham in the race for the top 2. Brian Jeeves joined us on commentary, and here's what happened.
Shootout with 2 games to go to get that final playoff spot. So this is a lot on the line for them as the ball goes up to Richard Kone. Onyedinma on the right wing, up against former Chairboy Randell Williams. Onyedinma swings it into the box. It's cleared. And now Adji has it now for the first counter-attack for the O's. You can hear the fans getting behind the Reds now. Adji brings it forwards onto that left-hand side. Ball into the box header, and it's on target from Kelman, and it's a comfortable save for Norris. And this, I think, shows you what this sort of game is going to be, Brian. One into the other, end-to-end already in the first minute.
Yeah, I think Kelman should have scored there, to be honest with you. He's drifted off his man. He's got a free header. He's just not been able to get his neck muscles around it. But great run from Adji, wasn't it? Carrying the ball from deep.
Grimmer goes cross-pitch to Leahy. Leahy gathers that superb ball now. He gives it to Udo, who's in space on the left wing. Udo up against Edmonds Green. Udo inside the area now, goes on the outside. Cuts it back for Kone, gets across his man Beckles. Shoots it past the post. And that's the best attack of the game from Wycombe Wanderers. 5 minutes on the clock, 0-0, but ominous signs from Udo and Kone.
Oh, it was really encouraging, wasn't it, Udo? He's burst into the box there, drilled it low. Richard Kone's got in front of his man, but just drifted it over the top of the bar.
Taylor doesn't win the header. It goes Adji inside the area. Adji spins it across, and it's there. It's a goal for the O's. Randell Williams heads in. He's been playing left wing back for most of the afternoon. He gets forward and then he's picked up and heads home from close range. It's Leyton Orient 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0.
Well, Williams has ghosted in and headed it in, but Adji with the work there, wasn't it? It was a delightful cross. Just behind Wycombe, he's turned him round. He's come in, nodded it into the net. Wycombe with work to do now. Started this half really well, but now they find themselves behind. They've got it all to do.
Actually got the ball on the right wing. Oh, it's a great cross in.
It's a great cross, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. Just flighted it so well. Delightful cross.
So did Williams, giving the O's a huge boost in there. Push for the top six. Humphreys away from Adji, centrally placed. Picks the pass through the middle. Here's Bradley. Pass out wide to McCleary on the right wing. McCleary versus Williams. Donnelly goes across to support. McCleary gets the cross in, finds the space. Adam Reach on the volley. Oh, what a connection just over the bar. Fantastic technique from Adam Reach. Cut across the ball and it was curling, and for a split second it looked to be curling into the top corner, and it's just wiped his feet, I think, on the top of the bar as it goes over.
Thought Weir was going to dip in there. Adam Reach, what a wonderful left-footed volley. Just backed off a couple of feet, wrapped his foot around it. Keeley was stood motionless. Great ball in from McCleary, by the way.
Lovely stuff from GMAC on the right wing. Mike, it was a big game and it's gone down to fine margins today, a narrow defeat. Your take on the game?
Yeah, I think I spoke to the group in there. I think there was some games that come to mind, the Shrewsbury game, a Reading game, where I think we feel really hard done by. I think today's one of those games where I didn't think we deserved to lose the game, but I can't sit here and lie and say we deserved to win the game. I thought it was a really cagey affair. Obviously, I felt that we had a huge amount to play for. Obviously, I felt from them they had a huge amount to play for, and it comes down to a moment. I think there's really there's two big moments for me in the game, and I'm not going to sit here and make excuses. Ultimately, I'm the head coach of the football club, and we've lost 2 games back to back at crucial times at a crucial time of the season. So I've got to take my medicine with that bit. But there's 2 crucial moments. I think if Javi Simmons is getting a red card at Birmingham for a tackle which was deemed reckless and out of control, and I'm not suggesting for 1 minute Leyton Orient players should have been sent off, but what I'm asking for is a level of consistency. And I've said that to the 4th official. I don't see how that can be the feedback in one game, and then we have an almost identical incident that goes against us, and then there's a penalty in the second half from the corner where it's bordering on assault in the box. And I know it's really hard for officials, I get it, in terms of there's so much grappling and blocking and all those types of things, but I think that was one that was just completely over the line. So look, I'm not going to sit here and say we deserve to win the game, but I do think it was decided by one moment in the game, and obviously they had a few more chances come the end, because we have to open up and try and be a little bit more aggressive in terms of our play, which opens up more spaces, and a byproduct of that they get chances. But yeah, look, we can't lose on Monday and then lose today and sit here and make excuses. So yeah, really disappointing afternoon.
You must have been pleased though at the response from Monday, because Wycombe certainly controlled large parts of the game in the midfield.
Yeah, I knew I was going to get a result, and I can't make excuses for Monday. When I watched the game back, we're 2-0 down at half time through 2 moments. There's absolutely nothing in the game, and I'm not going to say it was a freak performance, a freak result, but I've been involved in so many of those games where you come in at half time 0-0, and unfortunately we weren't. But look, that's in the past now, and unfortunately today's now in the past. We've got to lick our wounds. The season's not over. I think that's the really important message. It's really disappointing. The last 2 results, we can't lose 2 games come this end of the season, but the fixture list was always, when I came into the football club, I always looked at the back end of the fixture list and knew that it wasn't overly kind on us, and it was going to be really, really difficult. I think the bit from my point of view is you have 2 or 3 really positive results, in particular at Bolton, at Huddersfield, which are incredibly difficult places to go, and you give yourself a platform to be successful, and then the last 2 games, unfortunately, we haven't done what we wanted to achieve.
We speak ahead of the late kickoffs this afternoon, so we'll know more by the end of today, but I guess the message is to finish strongly at home, whatever happens.
Yeah, regardless of whatever happens, because we've got paying customers here, we've got people that are fans for life, and regardless of what's on the line or what not's on the line, you put in a Wycombe shirt on and you give you all. That being said, I don't think the last 2 games have been a lack of effort. I don't think that can ever be labelled at the footballers or this group of players. As I said, I can't sit here and say we deserve to win the game. We definitely didn't deserve to lose the game, and I think there's some big moments in the game that haven't gone our way. But we've got to accept our medicine.
Good to hear it from Mike Dodds after the final whistle, but what about those Leyton Orient fans? They're hoping for one more home game in the playoffs, but here's their thoughts after the game against Wycombe Wanderers in the opposition view. Matt Simpson.
Huge win against a team who've been in the automatic promotion places almost all season. Massive character and resilience from every O's player. And the game management at the end was sublime. The holding the ball in the corner in added time was edge of the seat thrilling.
Thor.
Williams had by far his best game for us today. He was absolutely superb. Omar also marshalled Kone really well. And I doubt Keeley will ever have an easier game in goal than what he faced today. It was a well-deserved win, a game we controlled really well, and every player put in a shift to win it.
Mr. Dobalina.
Aside from an iffy 10 minutes either side of half-time, we played that really well. Apart from a couple of very speculative efforts, Wycombe didn't create much at all. And we really should have had another 1 or 2 goals ourselves.
The Reverend.
Huge win that. And I have a sneaking suspicion that we might be playing Wycombe again very soon.
Daniel.
We fully deserved that. We were definitely the better team on the day. We created more chances and defended well when needed. At Adams Park, we were totally outplayed. And I thought Wycombe were the best team I'd seen in a long while. Just shows how much Orient have improved throughout the season.
Token.
That was our best defensive performance of the season. Wycombe are a very good side, and they had to win. But we didn't give them a sniff.
Fish.
Proper blood and guts football with nothing left on the field. We put in the piece of quality. Aggie delivered and Williams' well-timed run. And that was the only real difference. It was a day for Warriors.
Orient Washington.
Our players fully understood the assignment. Wellens did an excellent coaching job. There was superb composure, maturity and quality from every player. Whatever happens, this is a team to be very, very proud of.
There's been a rumour that there's a new lightning-fast player in town, and I can confirm these rumours are correct. Virgin Media is here and is guaranteed to be a crowd pleaser. If you're tired of your broadband giving you the blues every time you want to do something, fear not. Virgin Media are right here in Wycombe and have brought their lightning-fast full fibre to the area to keep you entertained in between matches. Tuck into as many live sporting events, movies, games and tunes as your heart desires. Not forgetting our podcast with unlimited downloads on Virgin Media's intelligent Wi-Fi. All delivered at the speeds you need to keep the whole house happy. And the best part is, you don't need to wait until the next transfer window to make Virgin Media your favourite signing of the season. Find out more at virginmedia.com or drop into your local O2 store. New customers only, eligible Virgin Fibre areas only, subject to survey, network capacity and credit check.
Supporting a football club is like a marriage. Your club is there for life through the good times and the bad. We ask Chairboys fans for their most cherished old memory, their current favourite player, the best borrowed player we've ever had, and for something blue, we talk club merchandise.
Joining us this week is long-term Wycombe Wanderers fan Cheryl Kipping. Cheryl, great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm just beginning to recover from Saturday's dismal performance and sad loss, but I'm all ready and up for Saturday and a big win over Leyton Orient, hopefully.
That's the great thing about football, especially this time of year. You know, you don't have to wait too long for the next opportunity to come along. And that's exactly what it is. And what an opportunity this is for Wycombe. This will go out after the Leyton Orient game, so we can't speak too much about it. But I suppose to wrap it up, to be involved at the business end of the season, at the top end of League One, trying to get into the Championship, as a long-term Wycombe fan, this must be the stuff for dreams.
Yeah, and like lots of people have said, if you'd have told us at the beginning of the season this is where we'd be, we'd have absolutely be delighted with it. I mean, even, a couple of seasons ago, if you'd have said we'll be a safe mid-table Division 1 team, we'd have been delighted. But, it's the hope that kills you, and expectations rise, don't they? And it's that emotional roller coaster.
Absolutely that. So we know where we are now in the table, etc. Where did your journey with Wycombe Wanderers begin? How did it start?
Well, I was just reading something about things being in the family, and I suspect it started before I was even born. Wycombe is part of our family, or my family, historically. My granddad played for the 1931 team that won the FA Trophy.
Amazing.
Which was obviously before I was born. But I do have memorabilia. I don't know if you can see this, but
yeah, hold it up. Yeah,
that's his winner's medal.
Oh, brilliant.
That's a ticket to the game.
Amazing.
There's a programme which actually doesn't say anything about Wycombe on the front, but when you get into it, it's got the team lineups.
Oh, wow. Okay. So your
I've got the other thing that's a bit weird. I mean, who'd have known? 2 dinners, one organised by the club and one organised by the council, I think, in celebration of their win.
Brilliant.
So my granddad played for them in the 30s. And my first memories of going to Wycombe are going to Lokes Park with my granddad, because my dad was a referee. So in the years when I was growing up, my dad was mainly refereeing. Football matches were on Saturdays in those days, and he was off refereeing. So early days, Lokes Park. I went with, I've got 2 sisters, but one of them's just a few years younger than me. I used to go with her, with a couple of boys that were the same age as us that lived across the road. A bit later, I went with a friend from school, but it was in the days of Len Worley, Tony Horseman. I can remember standing by the tunnel when the players came out, smelling the winter green and patting them on the back as they came out. So that's where it began. And I'm unlike many people, I can't say this was the first game I ever went to, but I do have happy memories of being at Lokes Park, and we live not too far away from there. So if you left on the final whistle, again, days probably pre-CFAX and all the rest of it, you could be home to watch the football results coming in on the telly by going up over the Tombots Hill at the back.
Amazing scene. So then your grandfather, what was he called?
Jim Kipping.
Jim Kipping, there we are. So there's not many Wycombe fans that can say that they're related to a medal-winning Wycombe Wanderers player. That's fantastic.
No. And I can't say that I've continued going throughout the whole of my life since then. So I probably, in my teenage years, got a Saturday job in Boots. So that kind of put the kibosh on things. And then I moved to London when I was 19, and the train connections weren't what they are now, and I didn't have a car. So probably through the 80s was probably the time when I wasn't coming very regularly, but went to the big games and went to certainly when we got into the 90s, went to the Wembley trips. When I was visiting home, I would go to games a bit, but have come back. Really. So for a period, I was studying. I was doing a PhD, and I didn't go to much football at all then. Well, I had a boyfriend who was a West Ham fan, so I went over to Upton Park quite a lot. But in 2000, when I finished my PhD, I thought, well, I could go back to West Ham, but you don't change your team, do you?
No, absolutely
So since
not.
about 2000, I've been back, season ticket holder. Get very grumpy if someone organises a wedding or something on a Saturday when there's a game. And I go to a fair few away games as well. So, yeah.
Brilliant. A lot of people have said, it's parents, grandparents that have been the gateway into getting into Wycombe Wanderers. What was it like having a grandparent who not only took you to the game, but could also say, well, I played for this team as well and was an ex-player? How was that? Was he did he sort of educate you on the beautiful game as well?
No, it's difficult to remember. Now, what I do remember is if we went with him, we sat in, I guess, what would have been the equivalent of the director's box, which meant you had a cushion on your seat and a cup of tea and a biscuit at half time, and mixed with the great and the good, who I wouldn't know who they were now. He died in 1985, my granddad. So, but when the club did that thing of having the bricks on the wall, that you could put the names. So I paid for one for my granddad, my dad, and me. So we're all there. And my dad, after he retired from he retired from refereeing and then was assessing referees. But then once he'd finished all that, he came back. So for the latter years, probably since 2000, when I came back, as it were, I was going with my dad. And lots of people, I'm sure, watching this will have known my dad. And he died now about 6 years ago, but up until about a month before he died, he was going to games because he loved it. He loved it, again, that family connection and just being passionate about going to see Wycombe.
A lot of fans like to shout at referees, and we have the late, great Bill Turnbull in the press box used to do that as well. I'm guessing if you had a father who was a referee as well, did that change your attitude towards refs?
No, my dad was always quite protective of referees when the crowd were shouting at them. But you knew that if on the way back home he started saying how bad the referee was, you knew they were really bad, really bad. Yeah.
Oh, Cheryl, this is good. I've been looking forward to speaking to you on this feature because I know you're going to have lots of fantastic memories and deep family connections, as you've just highlighted. So we'll kick off with the questions. Something old, your favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memory. I'm fascinated to hear this.
So it is the game at Wimbledon on that cup run. And as you know, I live in southeast London. So actually, the Palace Ground, Selhurst Park, is just down the road from where I live. So several people from my family came. And of course, I mean, for me, a lot of what I enjoy about football is the emotion, the ups and the downs and the excitement. And that game, lots of people have chosen that game, haven't they? Because it was just unbelievable, the twists and turns and ups and downs, and then to have got through was just amazing. And some of my favourite, I love Jason Cousins, is one of my all-time Wycombe favourite players.
And now Jason Cousins, one of Wycombe's longest-serving players, 10 years at the club, can make it 2-0, and does!
So he was playing, but other great players, that played in that run and in that game. And after the game, of course, people were driving back to Wycombe and harping their horns, and I was only living just down the road. I wanted to drive down to Wycombe.
You talk about the roller coaster element of being a Wycombe fan, but like a football fan in general, that had enough twists, turns, ups and downs for a whole season, that in one night almost, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then what was really disappointing after that was because Si, that was on last week, talked about the Essendon moment at Leicester. Well, I was in India when the Leicester game was on, a long planned visit trip with friends. And the day of that game was some sort of national holiday. So whereas there was all these little phone booths on street corners that you could phone up, it was pre-mobile phones, there was nothing. So I ended up going into a very plush hotel and asking if I could use the phone, and phoned my dad, who'd been at the game, to find out the result. And I think I paid more for the phone call back than my dad had paid for his ticket. But in this very posh hotel, was then going, yeah!
Well, whatever that phone call cost, surely worth every penny when the news came through.
Absolutely. And then just, again, having heard Si last week, the game at Villa Park against, all those Liverpool stars was just incredible. And again, I went with my dad, and to have been in the game for as long as we were, and for Rhino to score, which must have been a career highlight for him, that was amazing.
You've talked about when, you started getting into Wycombe, your family links as well. Wycombe, again, this gets forgotten about quite a bit, is famously an amateur club for a huge chunk of its time. So to go toe to toe with Liverpool, who, in our lifetimes, my lifetime, were the giant of the UK game, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and going back to Selhurst Park, I mean, Michael Owen played in that game against us, didn't he? But I saw Michael Owen make his debut against Wimbledon at Selhurst Park, and he scored in that game. I mean, great play. He was a great player, wasn't he? So to have the likes of him and Gerrard and Heskey and yeah, it's kind of stuff of dreams, isn't it?
Right then, another entry for Selhurst Park, but again, what a night that was. I was there too. Brilliant night, and not enough memories of that, really. So on to the current day, and this is an even tougher question, in my opinion. Your favourite player in the current squad, who is it?
It is difficult, but for me, it has to be Josh. I mean, his long history with the club, I think he was with us from about 14, I think, wasn't he? Through the when we had the academy previously. Going away, coming back, everything that he's given to the club, and the fact that it always gives 100%. I just love him.
Yeah, and Josh is, we've talked about him, about what he brings to the team and all the other bits and pieces. And I mentioned this to Si last week, and I thought we'd almost teed it up perfectly for the Bolton game, is because he normally scores at least one goal a season.
Yeah.
He's yet to score that goal yet. And we talked about the pre-Easter chat I had with Si Thomas. Oh, it's going to come. I thought it was going to be at Bolton, but he very unselfishly passed the ball to Luke Lee. He was in a better position. So maybe it will come this weekend.
Well, let's hope so. Yeah.
That would be nice, wouldn't it, if we're all in East London watching a monumental goal go in?
Certainly would. Or more. I mean, it would be nice to get more than a 1-0 win, wouldn't it?
Well, Josh can get his one goal, and then Richard Kone can maybe get a hat-trick.
Anybody. Caleb, get up there and score another one.
Good stuff. Right then, on to this is always another tough question as well. Something borrowed. Your favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers loanee. Who's it to be?
And that's really difficult. And I think some people have talked about this when they talked about their favourite player as well as their loanee. Is it about what they brought to the club, or is it about their personality and stuff? So for me, there's something about attachment. So I mentioned that I went to West Ham for a few seasons in the past. So last season, and I went at the time when Steve Potts was playing for them. Mm-hmm. So last season, having Potsy with us, I felt kind of attachment with him. Eze comes from, the same part of South London. I know people that don't know him really well, but have some attachment. And I've seen him to go on to play for England and score that goal, which was brilliant. And then there's the fantastic work he's doing with his foundation. So it's not just about him as the player, it's about him as the person. And this season, I mean, we've just got, I don't know if people have talked about the loan players this season, but, Aaron Morley, Caleb Taylor, Sonny coming in. I mean, that first kind of tackle, header, whatever. Cam Humphreys. We've had some great players, but I think it has to be Alfie for me again. If people have chosen him, and coming in as a youngster, he was just brilliant, and it was great to have him back. And Si chose him, I think, as well, didn't he? There's some of us that have been around a while have got common themes, but we've had some great loan players.
And we've always talked about as well, you'd never fall in love with a lone player, etc. But when they do leave us and then go on to what we know is going to be a glittering career, we have a sort of paternal sort of pride in them, don't we?
Well, like I said, they learn everything they know at Wycombe. And it's nice when Eze, again, has acknowledged that, hasn't he? Not that he learned everything he knew, but, the importance of his time with us.
I think with Eze, and we've said this a couple of times before as well, we all knew that he was an incredibly talented footballer, but the bit that was missing was the bit that Wycombe gave him was the graft and the doing the dirty side of the game as well. And he learnt that at Wycombe Wanderers, and it was lovely to see him talk about his time at Wycombe, about how transformative it was for him as a player and as a person. So the bits that you can't teach people, that were already there. But he came to Wycombe to get the best of Gareth Ainsworth and Akinfenwa, etc., and that amazing dressing room. So he has got the Wycombe DNA in him still.
Yeah, and maybe he'll be back one day.
That's the other great thing about Wycombe is we have a little tractor beam, don't we? They tend to come back at some point. You never know. Well, it's another entry for Alfie Mawson as well, which is a great one. And another player that came back. And it was almost bittersweet because obviously it ended with the injury again, but he still gave us in that second spell. There was still some wonderful moments in there as well. My favourite, I think, I don't know about you, but the assist against Peterborough when he ran the full length of the pitch.
Yeah.
I know it was a knee injury, but it didn't hold him up that day.
Obviously, you don't get to know the players very well. You sometimes maybe have conversations at sponsors' events and stuff, but he always seemed just like a really nice bloke.
Yeah, he seems to be seamlessly moving into the stands, and I think working in the game now, which is wonderful as well. But I know he still loves watching Wycombe and comes down when he can, which is a brilliant thing. Well, I can see you're wearing your Wycombe Wanderers shirt.
I thought I should.
We're on to something blue. Your idea for some piece of club merchandise for the shop.
Okay, so I've got 2 ideas.
I knew you'd be good for this, Cheryl.
One of them is to get earrings, stud earrings made. They could be little ones or they could be big ones that are in the quarters.
Ah, yes.
Light and dark blue quarters. So ladies might want bigger ones, but plenty of guys wear earrings, and a little stud with the quarters on would be good.
Excellent. I like this, yes. Yeah.
So that's one idea. The other one is I would like some sort of yearbook or season book. I mean, I've got a few, from like the season when we went up to the Championship, that book with all the photos in it, or the one, the FA Cup year. Maybe one at the end of every season, or maybe one that's like this season plus some of those all-time legendary photos. So Andy Rammell in the snow, or that photo of Bayo and Gaz.
In the headlock,
yeah. Having some of those photos in there, I think would be great, because again, people say different things. There are some people that can remember things really well, and others that can't so well. I'm not always so good at remembering moments, but having those photos there as prompts and going, yeah, I remember that.
I think
would be great.
I'm with you on this. I think in the digital age that we live in, where you can replay all these moments and goals and watch them back, but actually there's something incredibly emotive about an excellent photograph. And you've mentioned a few there. I mean, there's the John Motson in the snow at Adams Park, and there's all these moments. Gareth hanging off the crossbar at Torquay in front of the fans. There's so many bits.
JJ on his mobile phone on the pitch at Wembley. That's a favourite one. I
think you've got a photo book here for the discerning Wycombe Wanderers fans to have on their coffee table. Yeah, just on a quiet summer's evening in between the madness of the seasons that can flick through. And I think this is a wonderful suggestion, Cheryl. And no doubt people can now send in their ideas for photos that should be included. We've listed about 5 or 6 iconic ones already, but I'm sure there'll be plenty.
Yeah. No, that would be good. And I would certainly, I'm not a big one for buying loads of merch, but I would certainly buy the earrings, and I would buy the coffee table book for sure.
I think my all-time favourite is Darius Charles with the ear cupping ear to the Sunderland fans. As a photograph, it's just wonderful because it's got the Sunderland fans swearing at him. Darius with all the backstory that we'd all know as we look at that photograph, just wonderful. I think, a picture can tell a massive story or speak 1,000 words, I think the saying is. But I think that could be it. So, Okay, everyone, email in with your ideas for the photo book. We should make this happen.
Yeah, that would be great.
Cheryl, your love for Wycombe as well is obviously unrivaled, but you also a keen supporter of the England national team as well, aren't you?
I am. Over recent years, I've been to less away games because I'm really mindful of my carbon footprint. So that makes it quite tricky. But I spent over a month in Germany in the summer. There was a bunch of about 35 of us going around on a coach together, people that I've known. Because the great thing about football, as well as your family, and I love going with my family, but you meet loads of other people. There's people that I know that I would count as friends at Wycombe. And through my England trips, people from all walks of life, people that I've known for my first England game, my first England away game was 1997. Someone that I worked with had tickets for that England-Holland game at Wembley where we won 4-1, which I went to with my dad. She didn't want the tickets. She wasn't sure whether she wanted the tickets, And I went, well, I'll have them. And having been to that, which was, of course, amazing, I went, I'll have some more of this. So I've been following England away since 1997. Like I say, less so now, but it was brilliant to be in Germany in the summer. And I've been to all sorts of countries that you wouldn't otherwise go to, and met all sorts of people that you might not otherwise meet, and had some just truly amazing experiences. So bring it. hopefully England will win something soon as well.
When I watch England games from the comfort of my living room or the pub, I'm always delighted to see the Wycombe Wanderers flags that are in, amongst all the other Football League and non-league clubs as well. There seems to be a bit of a Wycombe Wanderers presence at these England games as well.
Yeah, and I think Andy that used to stand on the terrace, but I was in touch with you when we were in Germany at the final, and there was a guy who is a friend of yours, I think, who was there wearing a Wycombe shirt.
A Mexican guy.
Mexican guy wearing a Wycombe shirt, and it was like in the bars just outside. So they've got to go and speak to him. Go up to speak to him, and there's a couple of other guys that are big on the gas room, who, of course, I had no idea who they were before, but once they said who they were, then yeah. So you never know where you're going to meet Wycombe fans, and that is really nice. Seeing the Wycombe flags around the towns, in the bars and stuff it is great.
It is lovely. I mean, Davo's a very good friend of mine, and I gave him a Wycombe shirt a few years ago. And he said he bought his tickets for the World Cup final, about 18 months before, in the hope that Mexico would get there, which is probably even more hopeful than us about England getting to the final. And I said, well, if England get to the final, you'll have to wear your Wycombe shirt. And he did. And you messaged me, and I got about 8 or 9 messages that night from people at the game who had not only seen Davo, had gone up and had a chat with him as well. And that's isn't football a beautiful thing for this, isn't it? It just brings people together.
Well, the other thing about the people that I know through following England is a lot of people that go away and follow England aren't Premier League fans. So I know fans from all sorts of different clubs over the country. So when we go away to wherever, I'll meet up with them for a beer, and vice versa. When they come, if their team's coming to play Wycombe, I'll go, are you coming to the game? I'll buy you a beer. And that camaraderie is just fantastic. So it crosses over from the international down to the club level as well. And there's loads of people, I've got no idea what their surname is, but it's, Millwall Dave or Northampton Andy or, whatever.
Wonderful. Well, it's great that you represent Wycombe Wanderers at these fixtures as well, along with a small army of other Wycombe fans heading out to support England. And Cheryl, no doubt we'll see you before the end of the season as well.
Absolutely.
An exciting time to be a Wycombe Wanderers fan. It's never dull, is it? Let's be honest.
It's never dull. And hopefully just 2 more games. But who knows? Who knows?
Well, whatever happens between now and the end of the season, it's been a wonderful season for Wycombe Wanderers. It could be history making, and whatever happens, I know you'll be there.
Yeah, will do. Okay then. Thanks, Phil.
Cheers, Cheryl. Right, that's it for this week's episode of Ringing the Blues in partnership with Virgin Media. One last home game to go in the regular season, so we look forward to seeing you at Adams Park for that one, and then it's the playoffs. Believe, keep the faith, and come on you Blues.